Last call, Fright night. Welcome everybody to Drunk with Buds. As always, we get our beer information from the Untappd app. That's Untappd. You can now follow the show on there at Drunk with Buds. This is a special show. We're going to do something different. It's our last call episode. So we're going to have like a Halloween style drinks. We're going to make it our Halloween episode. We'll have ghost stories and everything. So, let's just get right into it. I got Bruce Bandit to my right.
That's me.
Honer sits in front of me.
Hello.
And then we also have a special guest, my brother-in-law, John Reed.
Good Sunday afternoon.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate the
It won't be Sunday when this airs, John.
Well,
Jesus.
it's Sunday now.
It'll be Thursday.
So happy
the 29th.
Thursday.
John's in the past.
Right.
He's Christopher Nolan.
Right.
Live in the now, man.
I'll live in you now.
Oh,
man.
shoot.
Well,
Happy Halloween, everyone.
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, now he's Dracula. We got wigs on today, me and Two Tones.
Yes, we do, because we're dressed up for Halloween.
We are.
Now
Go ahead.
we just poured the first beer.
Yes.
I got on Untappd. It's Oktoberfest from Shoreline Brewing. It's a Marzen style, Michigan City. It has no available ABVs or IBUs. It's got 145 check-ins for an average rating of 3.64. It says it's sweet, malty, and delicious. So I've had this before.
Wow.
At the
Big
brewery,
shock.
Which interestingly enough is like a block away from a nuclear reactor plant. So you could be glowing when you're done drinking this.
Oh, shit.
We got one person who actually on Untappd rated it and then said something about it. I went through like 25 of these before someone actually wrote something. Malty, a little sweet, easy to drink.
You know what? It's a nice little Oktoberfest right there.
All right, so what John doesn't know is that, since he doesn't listen,
Ouch.
you'll
There's
take
a
your
bus.
beer, give us your first impressions of it, and
Yeah.
let us know what you think about it.
Like we said, this isn't a typical episode. This is a more haunting special, but usually we would interview you. But today we don't give a fuck because
Right.
this is not an actual episode. So we don't care who you are right now.
Thank
Okay?
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem,
I
man.
wasn't going to let you interview me.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to do ghost stories. Are you guys prepared for the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is called Ghost Bro. My house was built in 1904. It is a single family home, wood frame setting on a concrete block foundation. I have been living here for about 12 years. Of all the weird things that my siblings and me have seen or heard in this house, this one event is my favorite. This happened to my brother. About 10 years ago, my brother and his best friends had started a garage band playing mostly Spanish rock. Alternative music, but in Spanish. His friends could only get together on Sunday afternoons. They would practice into the early evening, and they would usually call it quits by 8 p.m. This was the time I usually showed up and went to bed, because I worked the graveyard shift. This happened in late fall, so the days were getting shorter. They had just finished a long session when the decision to head to someone else's house came about. My brother handed his car keys to his buddy, so they load up the equipment. Everyone had filed out of the basement, but the tricky part was that they needed to walk all the way to the back of the basement, up the stairs, through the kitchen doorway, down the hall into the living room, and out into the front porch. Everyone was outside sitting in my brother's truck waiting for him. My brother was walking up the back stairs when he remembered that he had left his pancakes in a to-go container sitting on a speaker in the basement. He made the decision to go back. Now the basement is not clean. With full sight lines, there had been partitions made, and the boiler and main heating unit are right smack in the middle. So after my brother walks back, he is about to retrieve his food container, when out of the corner of his eye he sees it. It is a shadowy figure right at his peripheral vision. This feeling of dread and uneasiness washed over my brother. We had been taught that if you are in the presence of a spirit or ghost and you felt a bad vibe, to say quick prayer or to cuss at it. My brother chose the latter. He basically just told it, "Hey, fuck you. I don't have time for this shit." My brother started to walk to the back of the basement and briskly walk up the stairs, closing doors and turning off lights as he was walking out. The last light switch is on the opposite side of the door. Luckily, the door was open and the light from the street lamp was flooding the living room with its amber light. My brother said he felt something at his back, but at no point did he turn around. As he flicked the last switch, the living room went dark, as did the rest of the house. As he stepped out, he pulled on the door, closing it behind him. Still holding his food container in one hand, he jogged down the few porch steps. He walked towards the front gate. Our house resides far from the main street, essentially having a large front yard but no rear garage. As he closed the gap between himself and his friend-laden truck, he kind of smiled and thought things over in his head, mad at himself for spooking out when there was no reason. He climbed into the driver's side of the truck, putting on his seatbelt and getting ready to pull out of the parking spot directly in front of the house, when one of his friends asked, "Hey, wait, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" My brother answered, "What do you mean? He went to work early tonight. He is already gone. Do you see his car anywhere?" The next question they asked, "So then who was walking behind you when you were leaving the house?" The ghost bro.
Brother's dead.
Oh, shit.
Brother died at work.
Damn. Graveyard shift, dog.
Right.
That's a pretty good story there, buddy. It makes me think about, Halloween's back in the day. I mean, my Halloween's, I don't know how old John is. He might be close to my age.
I think he's your age. 41.
I'm 41. So we had good Halloweens. They have terrible Halloweens.
Well, yeah, we can't have Halloween.
How was mine terrible?
Well, because we used to be able to go out until midnight. It didn't matter.
Right.
You guys had 2 hours to do things.
Mine was it was shut down at 8 or 9. I think was mine.
Yeah. Well, kids get murdered on Halloween.
You get full size candy bars.
Yep. Money.
Yeah,
There was one house that they gave away money. I mean, it might have been a few pennies, but hey, got money.
There's a person in our neighborhood that would open their garage up and they would fry their own little donuts and serve apple cider.
Ooh, that's fucking awesome.
You can't do that now because the neighbor probably drug you.
Right.
That was a thing back in, if you remember, like they talk about it a little bit nowadays, but back then they were like, everyone was super scared of razor blades being inserted, pins and stuff. It was a huge thing where they were like, I remember MedPoint advertising that you could come in with your bags of candy and an X-ray them.
They would X-ray them. That's right. I forgot about the X-rays.
But was it actually a thing? Did they actually do that?
Yeah,
it was an urban legend. I don't know if it really happened.
But maybe not in this area. But things back in the day happened the same as now. The only difference is we hear about it instantly across the nation. But the same things were happening when we were kids. Yeah. But unless it happened within your town, you didn't know about it.
Right. You didn't know about it until the next day on the news. And now it's...
Or 2 or 3 days. Right. Years later, and it would trickle to you.
And now it's in your face right away.
Yeah.
I mean...
people are super worried more than they were back then. They're like, you can't see, nothing happened back then. Like, no, it happened. We just didn't hear about it. Ignorance was bliss. I believe it happened in some, maybe Chicago or somewhere in the areas, and the story just finally got to us, and they're like, oh, now we got to be super worried about it.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine, like MedPoint, which is owned by Memorial Hospital, that's not cheap film. Right. They were doing free X-rays. That's how scared they were of it.
Damn. There wasn't really like that kind of shit I was worried about. Obviously, I was a child when I was out doing it. I think I went with my cousins a couple times. I just remember one time I dressed up as a ninja, and Brian was like the ghost killer, whatever.
Oh, Scream?
Yeah, Scream. I think so. And so we went out trick-or-treating one time. I feel like that's the only costume I can remember. Yeah. Because we had a picture of it. I don't even remember what I used to wear.
I'm right there with you. I can't, now that I'm thinking about it.
I think it was always ninjas. I think I was always ninjas.
I think I always had like a scary mask of some sort.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle for you guys?
No, I can't remember.
No, I was just
Power Ranger?
No.
I'm trying to think of you're like a child.
Yeah, maybe Power Rangers.
Maybe Power Rangers. Mostly like ninjas with the like the headbands and shit. Like
whatever was cheap.
I wonder if there's a few Notre Dame football players, as a kid. I remember the occasional like Indiana Jones because I had the fedora and a whip and stuff.
I still have it.
I do. It's a well-made fedora. It's a $100 fedora. So
you gotta take care of that one.
Real thing. That wasn't no prop.
Right, it was actual leather.
I remember more of what costumes I wore in college, which we'll talk about later, maybe. I mean, it just depends on how you want to qualify as a present. Right. That's still my way past.
Yeah, that's definitely your way past. So, like, I was thinking of, like, traditions that we used to do. Did you guys have any on Halloween? I know for us, it was going to Grandma's house.
We always went to Grandma's.
So me and Tones would go to Grandma's, and she would always put, like, on a scary movie, and then they would also be passing out candy to the kids out there. So we'd either join them out there or, like, inside, but we're having a family bash inside just watching horror movies.
Yeah, it was always right after we went trick-or-treating. It's like, where are we going now? It's like, well, we go to Grandma's.
Yeah,
and
everybody gets to eat their candy and watch horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
I had nightmares.
Yeah, I can't speak for John on this one, but we didn't have anything like that on my area because we were still trick or treating.
Right. Yeah. We were still allowed to be out.
Till
We
midnight.
were multiple bags. I remember taking the king size pillowcases as my bag, not some cheap ass bucket or anything like that, because you could fill the
You
crap
could
out
fit
of
a
it.
lot more shit in there.
Oh,
yeah.
and people, you had to be careful because if there were people a little bit older than you around, we went as packs because they would come and rip that shit from you and take your candy. Like, we're not going to trick or treating. We're just going to get it from the little kids.
Bastards. See, it's what I tell my daughter. Kids are assholes. I mean, everybody's an asshole, but no, that's a cool thing about your guys' family is you've got these get-togethers. You guys get together for like everything.
Everything.
Not me. No, our family. I mean, yeah, Halloween we'd dress up, we'd go trick or treating, and that was it.
Be back at 1 a.m.
Right.
Sometimes my parents were pretty cool. They'd take you done with this 8 neighborhoods that we are all connected? Yeah. You want to go to a different yeah, let's go to Granger. Let's hit up all the big houses.
All the rich people.
There you go.
And they'd take you right over there. They didn't care. And another thing, I can't remember as a child it ever being poor weather. It was always decent. It was never, at worst, it was cool.
I think
It's because we're old now. I mean, we're old now, so it sucks when it's cold out because then you realize that the kids in their costumes, they don't know it's cold. I mean,
I don't know.
I want to say it's been decent weather up until probably the last 10 years. Then it feels like it's always rainy or snowy.
Yeah, snow. I take
It
my
snowed
daughter
like 2
out
years
and
ago, right?
it's snow on the ground. Yeah.
Last year was cold, and we were downtown, and it was borderline snowing, and we're walking down the street, and this guy in front of me is dressed up as Richard Simmons, and his wife and kids are all in spandex, and this guy, I mean, he had the Richard Simmons shorts. I'm like, that guy has got to be freezing. But yeah, no, walking down the street, Richard Simmons shorts, and he had the hair.
Oh,
That was a great thing. His hair was natural, and it was Richard Simmons.
That's awesome.
At least he stayed committed to. You don't want to see like the Richard Simmons get up, but then he's wearing like just regular sweatpants and a big old coat.
Oh no, he was all in, and
Yeah,
the
he
family
was in
was
it.
all in.
Yeah,
And then they
'cause-
all got pneumonia.
But I see, I wouldn't get pneumonia because I just follow my daughter along in a car. I keep the heater on, and she only goes like a block and a half now. I'm like, where's the commitment? But that's all they have time for. Like, it starts at 5
And it ends at 7,
She
right?
doesn't even get off school until 5. It's horrible.
Oh,
It's horrible. Like,
That's a horror story.
Well, see, we do the downtown thing. We've hit some houses, people that we know, but the whole downtown thing, I mean, it's just easy. I don't know if they're going to do it this year with everything that's going on because there's so many people. But yeah, you just walk down one side of Michigan Street and walk back up the other, get your bag and go home.
what downtown is that?
Plymouth. Yep.
Yeah, I remember
Like,
those
you can
days.
pick up some extra things. We did that downtown South Bend. What'd you do dropping there? A gat. I used to murder
Right.
somebody.
Guns and drugs.
Yeah.
And
It is crazy though. Now that you mention it, how it's like cold and shit now. Because those pictures, like I said, that's the only thing I kind of remember of my fucking past. Of
Yeah, but we weren't dressed up and bundled up.
No, we weren't. But like I'm saying, in those pictures, dude, it was like straight up fall weather. Like it looked like it was just decent weather, just nice fall. And it's like I don't see that shit anymore. Whenever it's around Halloween, it's freezing, rainy,
straight to winter.
snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like
summer.
that sucks.
Except for when Christmas comes around and we'll be lucky to get snow.
We will have snow for Halloween, but we won't have it for
Stuff.
Christmas.
Exactly.
Yep. Global warming.
Is there any candies you guys really loved as a kid? But
Snickers.
now you're like,
Oh, never mind. Candy corn. I'll say candy corn.
I still like candy corn.
I used to like it, but then when you taste it now, it tastes like wax.
My wife, Adrian, hates candy corn. I mean, she's like, you're eating wax.
Yeah, that's because like when you're younger, dude, you're like all
sugar.
the sugar and
Right.
everything. But then now you taste it, it's like, oh, that's gross.
Mine would be candy cigarettes. I loved them as a kid. I wanted to look cool because I get to have a cigarette. And oh, it's the sugar. Now you try eating one of those things, it's like, oh my
like
gosh,
chalk.
why
Yeah,
did you like this?
Chalk dipped
Or
in
like
sugar.
fun dip.
Fun dip.
As a kid, I loved.
Oh, I love
now
Fun Dip
I can't stand.
I still fuck with
You,
Fun Dip.
you get the chalky taste of it now, so it's not the same. I feel like I'm with Honer as candy corn. Like you said, you always used to be able to just eat handfuls, and now I don't even know the last time I had it. Because you get one or two, it's like, yeah, I remember I used to like this, and you eat it, and it's like, no, I don't like this anymore.
No,
Where do you fall on circus peanuts? Those big orange candy.
Oh, the foam. Yeah, the orange foam candy.
As a candy,
they're like
as a
foam
kid,
as
I
fuck.
liked it,
I
but
forgot about those.
it's like it's not enough marshmallow to taste like
They
marshmallow.
were like Peeps. I mean, Peeps.
but harder than Peeps.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, you got that fucking. How is the foam is just like rips apart? Like,
Yeah, so it's not
it's
like
so
a
tender.
marshmallow, but it's kind of like a marshmallow.
It's like a concrete
a
marshmallow.
marshmallow foam.
So I really like those things. How about you about these beers, John? We rank beers on a scale of quarters from 0 to 5.
Okay.
How would you rate this beer, and tell us the things you like and dislike about it?
Be honest, man. That's all we want. You had to take another sip.
Yeah,
Thomas is taking a
had
sip
to
too.
taste it, refresh. I mean, it's not bad. 3. It's an Oktoberfest. It is got a little bit of sweetness, like the description says, from the use of caramelized malts. All German malts, hops, and yeast. It's good. There's something on the back end that I can't put my finger on what it is.
I don't know. I don't think I like
Flatness.
Yeah, I don't like the aftertaste.
Yeah, there's something at the end.
The aftertaste just does not.
That's
do
the
anything for me.
nuclear reactor.
Oh yeah,
That might
that
make
nuclear
sense now.
wastewater.
That makes sense though.
It's So you like Three Floyds, right?
Yes,
So have you had their Munster Fest?
I have not.
So well, I had beer, but I didn't realize you were coming, and I already have one for my coworkers, so I can't give you it.
Oh, thank you.
But if he wants to share with
I can
you,
split- I can
I
split
got
it with
I got
you.
them one each, but I didn't have one for you.
I
but-
appreciate that, Phil.
But it's Three Floyds, dog, and it's so fucking good.
Why'd you even bring it up?
Because I wanted
Hey,
him.
I got these beers.
I've got this awesome beer, but you
can't
can't
have
have
it.
it.
Hey, I knew your brother-in-law over here was gonna be like, oh, you know what? I'll share it, dude. So that's why I brought it up.
Cool, but you're really just a dick.
No,
I think it's
just
the
a
hair.
dick. He's just a dick.
It's the hair, bro.
It's the hair.
It's the hair.
He's Fabino.
Fabino.
No, yeah, it's good up front, but something on the back of it just.
Yeah,
It flatlines.
there's nothing to write home about. It's just an average Oktoberfest. I gave it a 3.5. I've had it a lot recently, so I'm kind of used to how it goes, and I've had it on draft, so I remember, and things usually are better on draft than they are.
Oh, for sure.
But you can't beat the price on this, so that's adjusted my thing. It's $1 a bottle.
I would have
Take
guessed
home.
that.
Yeah,
Really?
it definitely tastes like $1.
It tastes
Okay.
like $1.
It tastes like I'm licking the dollar bill.
So Bruce, you already rated it. Honer,
I give it a 3.25. It flatlines in your mouth, and it's no Munster Fest,
Which we won't be able to.
which you guys won't be able to try.
See, you compare it to Three Floyds. Southern Tier Pumpkin. Have you ever had the Southern Tier Pumpkin?
Yes, we've had it on the show.
We're not talking. We're talking Oktoberfest.
No, but we're talking pumpkin
pumpkin
beers,
beers.
too.
Just
Yeah,
in
we're doing
general,
pump- yeah,
Halloween,
we're doing-
fall,
So
fall
so
beers.
yeah, the Southern Tier Pumpkin, my favorite pumpkin beer. And then you have the Warlock, which is a pumpkin stout. And then you have the Atomic Warlock, which is the pumpkin stout with ghost pepper.
Oh my god!
And that was great. And it's not hot. I mean, you feel it in the back of your throat. You know there's something in there.
It's just a little bit of spice.
It's just a little bit of heat on the back. Yeah, Southern Tier Pumpkin.
like that. Reminds me of that Gimme Swelter.
Yeah.
That one was slight. Did he have you try
You
the
tried
ghost?
that one.
Yeah.
The
No,
second one. He liked the first one
The
better.
ghost pepper saison. That sucked.
He liked that one better.
That one tastes like hot
the,
glue.
The first one, the ghost pepper one.
It tastes
yeah, that
like
was
hot
good.
glue, dude.
No.
Now,
Yeah, I give it a 1, bro. I was like, fuck this
you
thing.
kind of had it on the side, but we,
confused.
our old host Blase had that Atomic Pumpkin from
So he did.
Voodoo
have it.
Ranger, from Voodoo Ranger,
Oh yeah.
and that was actually pretty good. It's a pumpkin beer. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin taste, but the chili peppers they put in it on the back end, it was a good burn that made you want to go back to it. So That's pretty good by Voodoo Ranger. You can see it still around now.
Yeah, the pumpkin I get like, it's not pumpkin-y. It's like hazelnut. I mean,
some of our really good on-air friends, the Urban Artifact guys in Cincinnati, have posted multiple times about pumpkin, saying if you like pumpkin, then you don't like pumpkin. They're like, wow. That is, throw that stuff out. Here, and they listed like 5 or 6 other, like, if you think that's good, these are more like what you should. That's just they essentially call it garbage.
All right.
Now everyone's got their own taste buds.
Everyone's got their own taste.
But I dread, like, if we would have had pumpkin on here, you know, I was like so glad that it was already done, and so we didn't have it because I'm like, I don't like pumpkin.
If
I
had time this morning, I was going to bring it. If I could find it, I was going to bring it.
I don't like pumpkin pie. I don't like.
Yeah, I didn't find it. I was looking. I went to the wrong liquor store. I was misguided in my quest to go to a citywide. So
which citywide did you go to?
I didn't. I went to Belmont on 23.
All the way up by me?
So it's a good one. It's really nice. They have a really good selection. But I was texting Stephanie, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to Citywide on Grape. And she's like, oh, there's one up by 23, because I was going to go to Culver's for food. She was like, oh, if you're going to Culver's, just go up to 23 and go there. And so I turned. She's like, yeah, just turn right on Cleveland. So I turn right, and I see a liquor store. It's a Belmont. I was like, well, I didn't want to go to Belmont, because normally Belmont doesn't have as good of a selection as a Citywide.
That one's better than most of them.
But that one, I went in there. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I went in there. I was like, okay, this is a nice one. It's really big. And I spent like $74 on alcohol.
Is that the one? Is that the one that's by Wings and stuff? Not that one, or
no? It's over there by the
Gucci Martins.
By the Gucci Martins
on Gumwood and 23, all the way up there.
Yeah, it's all the way up there. You take
the one by in Granger.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had one over there.
Me either. She said it was a citywide.
It's right by a gas station.
Okay.
Where they have the chickens every weekend, the porta pits.
Oh.
But
so that's like right past the mall? Like over that
you're
area?
going towards Granger.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll probably visit that one again, because that one had a really good selection also.
Yeah, I might have to check it out. Well, maybe if I'm ever there.
Yeah, I was walking up down the aisles. I grabbed a 6-pack. I grabbed a 1 beer. I grabbed another 4-pack, and I was like, my hands were full. I was like, they have to have a cart. So I walked back up to the front, and I grabbed a cart, and I plugged the podcast. I didn't get the guy's name, but because I went in there and he was asking, if I needed anything, and I said, yeah, I'm looking for a pumpkin or October style beers, and he's like, oh, well, we only got one pumpkin one, and it's a seltzer. I was like, I mean, I guess I could have thought that would be a thing, because they make seltzer everything.
I've never heard of it.
But I didn't think about that. So I was like, okay, yeah, show me where that is. So he showed me, I grabbed it, and then he asked me, why are you looking for, pumpkin styles? And I told him, oh, we do a podcast, and we just did a, interview with 903 from Texas. And he's like, oh, that's cool. What's the podcast name? So I told him @Drunk with Buds, and he wrote it down. So I'm not sure if that's going to get us another listener, or maybe I'll have to go back in there and talk to him again.
Maybe we'll have to beat his ass.
Maybe you should buy
for only having one choice. I mean,
yeah.
It's
he said everything's sold out, is what he said.
Oh,
they came out early.
Okay.
They came out earlier than normal.
Everybody got on it.
The problem with Belmont is they don't restock their shelves of different craft beers very often. So once it's gone, then it just sits empty. So yes, they have these rows and rows, especially that one, the one by Notre Dame, Belmont, right behind the backer. That's usually pretty decent too, but they don't. But like if you go to the citywides, it doesn't matter if it's Bittersweet, LaSalle downtown, or the one on Grape Road. They restock every week. Boom, boom. Yeah. You got more.
And the one thing I was looking for that's always sold out now. It's a side note. The Gem Beam Vanilla, always sold out of the big handles. Everywhere I go.
Jim Beam just sounds gross right now.
But anyways, we got off topic. So
yeah, let's get to a shot break.
I'm gonna rate this real quick because I haven't rated it yet.
Oh my god,
it's a 2 for me. It tastes flat. I thought it was the pour because I did a really bad pour, but I took a drink of Bruce's and it was the same. It's just
they swap spit. That's kind of gross.
We drank from the same straw.
Do that now.
Yeah, John didn't like that.
Tony drank on the other side of the glass.
No, he drank it through his mask, so he's safe.
Oh, filters it out.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So
we're wearing
masks.
Double filtered.
That's why you can't understand us really much.
I'm wearing a mask right now, guys. All right, yeah, let's take a break and we'll come back with another beer or another drink, I guess, because it's not a beer.
Shot blast.
All right. Catch you later. Bye.
Hey, welcome back, guys. That shot was amazing. I said that last time too.
It always is.
All right, we're just going to jump into our second drink. I don't consider this a beer, obviously. It's a VIVE Hard Seltzer Pumpkin Spice from Braxton Brewing Company in Covington, Kentucky. The style guide's not really much. It doesn't really give you much info. It says celebrate the change of seasons with this. It's got 99 check-ins. It averages a 3.55. I don't have high hopes for it. I just bought it because it seemed like something to buy.
Well, it definitely smells like pumpkin.
It smells like a pumpkin pie.
It tastes for a microsecond of pumpkin, and then it's just flat water.
That's seltzer. Hey, this does say beer with natural and artificial flavor on the can.
It's not beer.
I know. I don't think so. You guys are fucking.
Well, I know you're disregarding all seltzers, and I thought the same way until we came across Untitled Art seltzers. They just take like fruit juice.
Oh yeah,
they don't taste like
they're organic.
seltzers.
Great for breakfast.
Hell yeah.
They're really good
after a rough night.
Mm-hmm. Bloody Marys and shit. I don't like Bloody Marys actually. Do you?
Pull up your pants.
Oh wait,
it really does smell like pumpkin.
Because it's time for
yes,
another.
I do like Bloody Marys. Much more than that.
Yeah, this sucks. Oh, it's time.
Gird your loins. It's time for another ghost story.
Yes.
Click, clack, The Rattle Bag by Neil Gaiman. Before you take me up to bed, will you tell me a story? Do you actually need me to take you up to bed? Asked the boy. He thought for a moment, then with intense seriousness, yes, actually I think you do. It's because I've finished my homework and so it's my bedtime, and I'm a bit scared. Not very scared, just a bit. But it is a very big house, and lots of times the lights don't work, and it's sort of dark. I reached over, tousled his hair. I can understand that, I said. It's a very big old house, he nodded. We were in the kitchen, where the light was warm. I put down my magazine on the kitchen table. What kind of story would you like me to tell you? Well, he said thoughtfully, I don't think it should be too scary, because then when I go up to bed, I will just be thinking about monsters the whole time. But if it isn't just a little bit scary, then I won't be interested. And you make up scary stories, don't you? I know she says that, what you do. She exaggerates. I write stories, yes. Nothing that's been published yet, though. And I write lots of different kinds of stories. But do you write scary stories? Yes. The boy looked up from me and looked at the shadows by the door where he was waiting. Do you know any stories about Click Clack, the Rattle Bag? I don't think so. Those are the best sorts of stories. Do they tell them at your school? He shrugged. Sometimes. What's a Click Clack the Rattlebag story? He was a precocious child and was unimpressed by his sister's boyfriend's ignorance. You could see it on his face. Everyone knows them. I don't, I said, trying not to smile. He looked at me as if he was trying to decide whether or not I was pulling his leg. He said, I think maybe you should just take me up to my bedroom, and then you can tell me a story before I go to sleep. But not a very scary story, because I'll be up in my bedroom then, and it's actually a bit dark up there too. I said, shall I leave a note for your sister telling her where we are? You can, but you'll hear when they get back. The front door is very slammy. We walked out the warm and cozy kitchen into the hallway of the big house, where it was chilly and drafty and dark. I flicked up the light switch and nothing happened. The bulb's gone, the boy said. That always happens. Our eyes adjusted to the shadows. The moon was almost full, and a blue-white moonlight shone through the high windows on the staircase, down into the hall. We'll be all right, I said. Yes, said the boy, soberly. I am very glad that you're here. He seemed less precocious now. His hand found mine. He held onto my fingers comfortably, trustingly, as he'd known me all his life. I felt responsible and adult. I did not know if the feeling I had for his sister, who was my girlfriend, was love. Not yet. But I liked that the child treated me as one of the family. I felt like his big brother, and I stood taller, as if there was something unsettling about the empty house. I would not have admitted it for the worlds. The stairs creaked beneath the threadbare stair carpet. Clickety-clacks, said the boy, are the best monster ever. Are they from television? I don't think so. I think people know where they come from. Mostly they come from the dark. A good place for a monster to come. Yes. We are walked along the upper corridor in the shadows, walking from the patch of moonlight to patch of moonlight. It really was a big house. I wish I had a flashlight. They come from the dark, said the boy, holding onto my hand. I think they're made of dark, and they come in when you don't pay attention. That's when they come in. They come in and take you back to their, not nest. What's a word that's like nest but not? House? No, it's not a house. Lair? He was silent. Then, I think that's the word. Yes, lair. He squeezed my hand. He stopped talking. Right. So they take the people who don't pay attention back to their lair. And what do they do then, your monsters? Do they suck all the blood out of you like vampires? He snorted. Vampires don't suck all the blood out of you. They only drink a little bit, just to keep them going. And, you know, flying around. Click-clacks are much scarier than vampires. I'm not scared of vampires, I told him. Me neither. I'm not scared of vampires either. Do you want to know what click-clacks do? They drink you, said the boy. Like a Coke? Coke is very bad for you, said the boy. If you put a tooth in Coke in the morning, it will be dissolved into nothing. That's how bad Coke is for you and why you must always clean your teeth every night. I've heard the Coke story as a boy, and I have not been told as an adult that that wasn't true. But it's certain that a lie which promoted dental hygiene was a good lie, and I let it pass. Click-clacks drink you, said the boy. First they bite you, and then they go all ishy inside. And all your meat and all your brains and everything except your bones and your skin turns into a wet, icky, shaky stuff. And then the clicky-clacks suck it out through the holes where your eyes used to be. That's disgusting, I told him. Did you make it up? We reached the last flight of stairs, all the way into the big house. No, I can't believe you kids make up stuff like that. You didn't ask me about the rattle bag, he said. Right. What's the rattle bag? Well, he said, sagely, soberly, a small voice from the darkness beside me. Once you're just bones and skin, they hang you up on a hook, and you rattle in the wind. So what do these click-clacks look like, even as I asked him? I wished I could take the question back and leave it unasked. I thought, a huge spidery creature, like the ones in the shower that morning. I'm afraid of spiders. I was relieved when the boy said, they look like what you're not expecting, what you aren't paying attention to. We were climbing the wooden steps now, held onto the railing to my left and held his hand with my right. As he walked beside me, it smelled like dust and old wood. Not high in the house, the boy's head was certain, even though the moonlight was scarce. Do you know what story you're going to tell me when you put me to bed, he asked. It doesn't actually have to be scary. Not really. Maybe you could tell me about this evening. Tell me about what you did. That won't make up a good story for you. My girlfriend just moved into the new place in the edge of town. She inherited it from an aunt or something. It was very big and very old. I'm going to spend my first night with her tonight. So I've been waiting for an hour or so for her and her housemates to come back with the wine and an Indian takeaway. See, said the boy, there was that precocious amusement again. But all kids can be insufferable at times when they think they know something that you don't. It's probably good for them. You know all that, but you don't think. You just let your brain fill in the gaps. He pushed open the door to the attic room. It was perfectly dark now, but the opening the door disturbed the air, and I heard things rattle gently, like dry bones in thin bags, and a slight wind. Click, clack, click, clack, like that. I would have pulled away then if I could, but a small, firm fingers pulled me forward, unrelenting into the dark.
Click, clack, clickety, clack. Clack, clickety, clack. So that was a whole ass novel. So Neil Gaiman. So I'm pretty sure so the audiobook Sandman, he made that, I'm pretty sure then. Because you said if he made the Sandman, right?
Sandman comics, yeah.
So then it is DC?
Yep.
Is that what that is? Yeah. So then they made an audiobook with him and Constantine in it. So it's like, that's why I got it. It's pretty cool. Sandman is fucking weird though.
Yeah, he's the embodiment of dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Sucked the juice out of their eye holes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the part that stuck with me. That is scary.
Yeah. Well, that little boy wasn't the little boy he thought he was.
Yeah. Oh my. I don't know what to say.
Are you going to go in your attic anytime soon?
Nope.
I don't have
I'm the only one in the apartment that has access to the attic too.
Oh shit.
If I hear clickety clack, I'm gonna call Bruce and say, "Hey Bruce, come over here and check my attic out."
I'll be like, "No, you're probably the fucking clickety clack guy."
You know what?
Oh, that was gross.
You know what else is a nightmare? This fucking beer.
This seltzer is pretty nightmare.
It tastes like a pumpkin's like sweating, and it's the sweat of the
pumpkin sweat.
Is this beer? Because I'm just tasting that spice, and it's like that Starbucks pumpkin spice drink, but just.
It tastes like a pumpkin shit and Alka-Seltzer tablet in my glass of water.
Yeah, it's gross. It's really gross. I don't like it at all.
No.
Yeah, this sucks.
All right, so
why'd you do this to us?
Let's do the ratings. Hey, I brought another one I said we could do instead.
Well then.
Maybe.
Let's do the ratings. Honer, what do you got?
I give it a 1.25.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Bruce?
I gave it a 1.5, and I'm thinking about making it less, but I'll stick with it.
Yeah, it's gross, dude.
It's not good.
John?
Yeah, it's not gonna break that 2 threshold. 1.75 at the most. Just because, if anything, if you plug your nose, it's refreshing. As long as you don't taste it.
I like this the best out of all you guys.
Damn.
2.25.
Oh, you had to, right? Because it was your beer.
Right.
I liked it better. I liked it better than the last one we had. So
Regret.
it was just a little bit better.
No, that last one was at least some sort of taste.
It was a solid
beer.
2.
Yeah, this is ass. And I hate you.
Pumpkin ass.
Yes, I hate you for bringing this to us. Bringing this to this table. This holy table we have now.
Well, you're welcome.
Sweaty pumpkin ass.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great.
Let's take a quick break while we try to force these down our gullets and come back with a new beer. Hopefully, it's got to be better.
Yeah, let's get rid of this
Hopefully
taste.
it has to be better. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. We're getting this today. We're getting it now.
Now he's saying
Goblins.
I'm awake now. Yeah, so Bruce's story is pretty cool. Drinking eye juices, though, that's weird.
No, drinking the whole body's juices through the eyes.
Through the eye holes.
Yeah.
Were you not listening?
Well, I got confused. I'm drinking beer.
You weren't drinking a beer. You were drinking some
Yeah, I was drinking something.
You were drinking the body juices.
The body juices of a pumpkin, I think.
That's why you chose that story for that beer.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into our third beer brought to us by Honair.
It's me. So this one is Harvest Pumpkin Wheat by Blue Moon Brewing Company. It's a pumpkin yam beer. 5.7% ABV. Not available IB. 9,551 check-ins. 3.48 average. Style guide says Belgian beer based with yam and harvest spices. Ha! I'm Italian. Cinnamon.
You change your accent real quick.
Cinnamon, smooth, spicy, sweet, and light, just like John.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. Now the cinnamon I get.
Oh, he's getting the cinnamon.
The nose is pretty strong. I like the nose.
Yeah, before you said cinnamon, that was one of the first things that I smelled. Cinnamon spice.
Is it spicy?
Yeah, but not like burning spicy.
It's like a cinnamon spice.
Like a clove. Clovey spicy.
I don't know. I think I could have like a shot of this. I don't know if I can have a beer of this. This might be a good shot beer, which is non-existent. But we've talked about that with another beer
Shot
earlier.
beers.
Yeah, just a shot of beer and then you're good. Yeah, this is very. I'm not really tasting the pumpkin. It tastes like another like pumpkin spicy.
Yeah,
I actually get like a Christmassy vibe from this one.
Yeah,
not a Halloween vibe.
I taste nutmeg more than in
There you
else. Gingerbread man.
Yeah, I think the cinnamon adds to being more Christmassy than.
But again, like I don't know if I mean it doesn't taste bad. I just don't want to drink more.
Yeah. You couldn't, no, you wouldn't sit and watch the game and drink a 6-pack of this.
That's
The gingerbread. I do get that. I do get that on the finish.
That is a shot beer for sure, though.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
definitely.
let's take shots and you take a shot of that.
I don't know, man. Maybe if we like stepped outside for like 2.5 seconds and took a sip of this, it might be a different vibe.
with the environment.
Yeah, because like it's cold out there. Maybe this like warm
winter
us up.
time.
Yeah.
Nice. Like Christmas time.
Yeah. No,
Get
because
rained upon and just drink some. Yeah, maybe the
cold
water
out
will
there.
water it out and water it down some more.
exactly like you're at a pumpkin patch and you're drinking this, and it's
Okay.
like you're like, all right, let me taste this, and it might. Maybe
So-
in that scenario, it might taste a little bit more fall-y.
So a situational type beer.
Yes, but since we're not in that atmosphere, we're just in a room and we're getting like different vibes. Like you think this is Christmas, but maybe it's meant for like if you're actually doing something fallsy,
Right.
You know, it's not. It's
I
definitely
get
not.
that.
It's definitely not one I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm just watching a horror movie or something like that, and I'm drinking it. I won't get any vibe.
Right,
from
I'm
that.
gonna sit down and play Xbox for the night. This is what I'm drinking.
Yeah,
like,
no.
it's a situational type
Yeah,
beer,
I feel like if you're in a pumpkin patch, or
which
something
is a
like
real
that.
thing because I have those with wherever I go, like food restaurants and
No, we don't really discriminate here, John, on beer styles and stuff. But Blue Moon is now made by InBev, so it's no longer a craft beer.
When did that happen?
I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's why you get to see it more often, and you can find it as a domestic in certain places now.
Oh.
So
That's why it tastes
does
like
that
shit.
does that make you feel like maybe the recipe has gone downhill a little bit?
So in the cigar industry, you will see smaller companies. So if we're going to liken it to beer, your craft cigar companies, they'll have a really good cigar, and then a bigger conglomerate will buy that company, and a lot of times you will see the quality go down on that cigar. So I have seen a company buy a cigar and it was trash after that. So I could see that.
just because they want to mass produce it,
Cut costs.
The ingredients get
The recipes.
cheaper.
Yeah,
I just remember Blue Moon had Blue Moon, and there was another variant of Blue Moon, and that was all they made before they got bought out.
Yeah.
And now there's like so many different kinds from Blue Moon now. So I feel that's the InBev, which InBev owns Miller, Coors. They own all of them. So
I think that just happens with the. Oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna say.
but at least they had the foresight to not mess with Blue Moon. It still tastes the same.
Blue Moon's still good.
Blue Moon still tastes like Blue Moon.
but now the other Blue Moon beers are kind of iffy.
Yeah, they're like experimental and they're just not as good. But you got to think that comes with God damn it, dude! I had the word. It comes with the competition, I guess, because you have to think now Blue Moon's in competition with like Sierra Nevada. They're doing seasonal beers. You have Leinenkugel doing seasonal beers.
Right.
You got
Even
Everybody's doing seasonal.
Leinenkugel's now InBev.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. See, so you just got companies that are just
gonna
trying to break
create a monopoly.
Leinenkugels, I have never been impressed with.
None of them.
No, not really.
Summer
They
Shandy.
do a summer shandy.
I like
so
that.
I will give them the summer shandy,
And
but their
they're-
regular beers taste like a cheap company wanting to be a good beer.
Okay, I give you that. Except for I like their Berry Weiss, but you can only have one
Okay.
of them because it's so sweet. I use it for like a nice summer day, or I make chili with it to give you the sweetness on a chili.
Okay, so let's say they're I don't want to call them flavored beers, but they're regular beers. No, it tastes like a cheap beer trying to be good.
A lot of people who actually like real shandies, where they actually pour lemonade in, will say that the summer shandy is not even considered it because it's not real lemonade. They put like artificial lemons into it, so they don't even count it as a shandy.
I just want to throw this out there. I think John will be a really good guest for an actual show when we have random beers.
Random beers.
His insight on.
Don't suck up to him right now.
Well, November is wide
My
open.
brother.
So we're talking Blue Moon. Have you guys had a black and blue?
Yes.
where
That's the first time I ever had a Guinness, actually.
you layer Guinness
Yes.
on top of the Blue Moon.
Okay, so they're just
We
it's
do,
a black and
rotten
tan,
apples
but
now,
you're
too.
Black and
but you're
tan.
using Blue Moon instead of a
Bass.
lager. Well, actually, you're supposed to use Harp
Oh, is it Hart?
because Guinness and Harp are made by the same company. That's where it got invented.
Gotcha.
That's their lager versus their stout. They put them together. But technically, you can use any lager or lighter beer. It's just thinning the Guinness. So you could use anything, but anything that mixes with Guinness is called black and tan. But I get why they would call it black and blue because it's
Right.
it goes into like I'm getting beat up, black and blue, and it's Blue Moon. So
We do rotten apples. Is what it's called. It's Guinness and Reds.
Reds, apple.
It's the same concept. You put the Guinnesses on top. Then.
layer
It's at
Yeah.
the galley. One time it was randomly on their like special. It was like $3.50 for a rotten apple. We're like, what the fuck is that? And it was like one of the first times we ever went there or some shit. And so we're like, you know what? We're gonna get that. And all of a sudden we didn't like it at first, but then it became like a kind of like a tradition. We started going there like weekly on Thursdays. And every time our last beer would be rotten apple because that's the finisher.
The last call beer.
That's the last call beer, just because when you're leaving, you got that heavy duty fucking mix of a drink.
See,
and then,
you guys
it's
ever had
funny.
a red eye? Take Guinness, you mix it with Clamato or V8, and then you put a raw egg into it.
I'm gonna throw up.
That sounds.
That's nasty.
That sounds like I'm gonna throw up.
That sounds like a rocky. That sounds like a rocky beer.
I had it in Dublin
Right.
when I went to Ireland, and don't forget most of their beers are like room temperature too, so don't forget
My
that too.
God.
That sounds like I'm gonna train, so I'm gonna drink like you said a rocky beer. I'm chugging this.
That is a horror story of itself.
That's gross. That is nasty, dude.
So it's funny what you say about traditions and stuff. We don't like something, but yet we continue to drink it.
Yep. It grew on us. Trust me.
I'm
It's
gonna go
pretty
back
good now.
way back, high school. Had a buddy's dad. We would always party at their house. He would let us do it, and we'd be safe. But then we graduated, and every year we would get together for a golf outing. We'd go to the old man's house and would do a shot of Debouché blackberry brandy with him. And it was absolutely horrible. It was like doing a shot of Robitussin. But we did it every year because that's what the old man drank. And a few years ago, old man passed away. So that night, his son, my buddy Nick, and I go down to his house and we sit at the kitchen table and we're drinking some beers, talking about the old man, and then we break out the Debouché and we do a couple shots of it. And every once in a while, Nick will bring down a bottle of Debouché, and while it tastes like hell, we'll do it. And so I get to thinking, it's like, you know what? I wonder if the old man really liked it, or if he knew that we would carry on the tradition of drinking this shit. And he is looking down on us laughing right now. So, so from now on, whenever Nick and I get together and we do a shot of this Debouché blackberry brandy, I do a shot and I flip off the head. Because I think the old man was a big enough asshole to do that.
He's like, you guys gonna pass this on.
That
to me."
even brings up like my question: is that a tradition that he had with somebody that he didn't say part of his story?
Yeah, or did he just
did he really like it, or was it something that he powered through?
Good question.
Or
It
maybe
could've been
even
his
he
own.
said, "Hey, I know, kids. A lot of times, kids don't like to hang out with their fathers. If he knows, hey, my kid will take this shot with me with his buddies, so I don't like it, but I'm going to keep doing it and maybe start a tradition."
Maybe I should get Nick on the line.
So thinking
He could be on the show too.
traditional shots, have you guys ever heard of Malort?
I have people in Chicago drink.
Correct. If you ever want a free shot, you can go to any bar in Chicago. It's a Chicago tradition from some Swedish guy who created it. I've done it. It's a terrible tasting alcohol, but it's called Malort. You can go in there. It's like, I'm new to Chicago. I heard I'm supposed to ask for this shot, and they'll give it to you. And it's terrible, but it's called Malort.
We have
Like
that.
when they-
I think we have that building around here. It's called Fireball.
Oh yeah, fucking Fireball, dude. That show kicked.
That's the one that you don't like anymore, but you just keep doing it.
Because that's what Aunt Lisa, man, she's like kicking it, because that was the
Kicking it.
That was the kicking it shot in Oregon. That's when I got like blacked out drunk and had a dance off and everything. So that was the whole thing.
Now, speaking of other traditions, what traditions have you been noticing Halloween wise now, like today's youth, or what do you do now Halloween wise?
We always try to have a Halloween party where we hopefully get the majority of people to dress up. You'll always have those people that don't dress up. I don't know why. People are just embarrassed to.
Too cool. I'm too cool to dress up.
John
dresses up.
John literally is
dress up all the fucking time.
No, I love it. I love Halloween.
He is Halloween.
You get people that don't dress up, and it's like my brother is starting to turn around now, Andy, but he never used to dress up.
Yep.
But now
He'll
he's
dress up.
starting
He'll
to.
dress up in normal like clothes, but call himself something else, like DJ Khaled or something like that. But it's like him dressing up as himself. He's like, "Oh, I'm DJ Khaled," or like something like that. But
So he's cheating.
yeah, so he's using a real life celebrity that looks like him.
Well, in that story, last year he dressed up as DJ Khaled, but he didn't do it. He just dressed up normally, and he went out and he showed up at a bar, and they go, "Oh, you're DJ Khaled." He's like, "Yeah, I am." It was just his normal attire, but he had the beard and the fresh haircut. But
yeah,
Last time I dressed up for, it wasn't that long ago for a party. I dressed up full hockey gear, full jersey, pads, elbow pads, and some guy started getting like kind of rough, and he gave me a shove, and I didn't feel it because I'm wearing all the fucking pads and stuff.
That's
I'm
one person you don't
I don't
want to
think
fight
you
with.
want to mess with me right now.
See,
The guy in the hockey
that is smart right there, especially if you were like at an outdoor Halloween party, because you're not going to get cold.
No, I was quite. It was an outdoor.
Right. But then you got these women dressing up as like skanky cheerleaders and stuff,
slutty pumpkin,
and
How I Met Your
they're
Mother.
freezing their ass off, and they're complaining about it all night. It's like think ahead.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know, but maybe they're doing that on purpose because they, want someone to make them warmer later.
That could be.
it could be, but
the shots.
at a family party, that's not what you're supposed
Right.
to do. We're family. I'm not gonna hug on you. So.
Right. I don't want to see Grandma dressed up as a skank. I'm sorry, but
She
But
got
yeah,
ran over.
Halloween-
She got
Halloween
ran over by
parties.
that reindeer.
But adult Halloween parties are,
Yeah,
I think they're dying out now with our group because we don't really have a place, I guess, to do them.
I guess we
But-
could go to Derek's.
We could, but Halloween parties, John used to always have.
I think this was your idea.
This
I
was my
think
idea.
Tony may have revived the
Hopefully,
Halloween
fingers
party.
crossed.
The Halloween party.
Because you was it an acre and a half or half an acre of land?
I'm on 2 acres, and it's narrow and long. So in the very back, we would have huge fires, and I mean, people would literally stop on the way to the party, pick up a couch that's sitting on the side of the road, bring it to the party, sit on it through the party, and then throw it in the fire. So
that legit happened.
it's a true story. So Tony wanted to have a party at the house this year, so I spent weeks out back cutting trees down, trimming stuff up. My dad came out with a backhoe. We dug a huge hole and pushed, I don't know how many couches into this hole, but there were springs everywhere. But we would do this every year, and then we got old and had
children.
kids. We had kids, so the parties kind of stopped. But now the kids are getting old enough to enjoy it themselves when they're not fighting with each other. So yeah, the Halloween parties may come back.
Yeah.
I mentioned it about before, for like a Christmas thing. St. Pat's Park in South Bend has a cabin in the middle of their thing that you can rent out, and when it becomes cold, it's never rented. And for like a 4-day weekend, you can rent that place. It's got 8 beds, full working kitchen, a fireplace, fire pits outside, all the trails in St. Pat's Park, and you're talking like it's going to be like for a 4-day like $60 a person.
I'm going to look that up when we leave here because my wife and friends want to do a getaway without going away.
So you're literally in the middle of the woods, but you're
You're
also
up in, like,
you're 2
Roseland,
miles
South Bend
away
area.
from anything that you really need. So if you're like,
Yeah,
oh
you're not
shit,
too
I need
far.
to get to a Martin's, it's right there. Oh shit, I gotta go to a Meyer, boom, right
That's
there.
That just sounds perfect. You
That's-
know,
that's
like you're
great.
in a cabin
Yeah.
away from places, but
The
you're not that far
trails,
from
the
everything.
trails, you can walk the trails and then go into Michigan and come back. The river's right there. The ambiance and everything. We've been talking about years for renting it out for Christmas, putting a tree there and having like a cabin Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that'd be
a
nice. Like you said,
Halloween
just,
party might be really great out there because you have the ambiance of like the dark woods at the same time.
Yeah, but he also, the Halloween party, he has 2 acres of land that we could bring.
I know, but there's something to be said about something different but the same, like changing locales.
I'm not sure if our I mean, it's a good idea, but I'm not sure if the family, it'd have to be like friends. I'm not sure if the family would travel that far for a party, but the friends probably would.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like he said he lives like Plymouth. That sounds like a drive to me.
Yeah, but if he's gonna have his friends and everything, they'll definitely take a weekend off for that.
Yeah, no, it sounds cool. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I don't really have any like traditions now besides like the Halloween parties and stuff. But I do like to watch like horror movies at least like October. I usually watch horror movies like throughout the year, whatever. But there's always that specific time, once it starts getting into October, you just get into that mood where it's like, I want to watch horror movies at least daily or nightly, or at least, at least throughout October.
Do you guys put candy out here at the apartments?
I don't think they're doing it. The last apartment I lived at, they did like the trunk, whatever, Halloween.
Trick or trunk?
Yeah, I don't think they did it here though. I don't think they do it here.
Have you seen some of those people who are selling like, you can put candy in a basket at your front door and it slides all the way out to them, and and then you can just pull it back.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. But yeah, like Phil said, we don't really have very many traditions anymore. Stephanie and I do try to sit out on Lincoln Way because that's where we live in Mishawaka, and hand out candy. Last year, with it was actually snowing, no kids came around. But I was in costume. I have a Spider-Man costume that I was in. Our dogs.
You use the shit out of that.
I get my money out of that one. I've had it like 3-4 years now. I'm starting to not fit into it because I'm getting a belly. But
especially since you've been on this show.
Yeah, it's
brought to you by Blue Moon.
Yes. But yeah, we got costumes for our dogs that we, even when we take them out on a walk, we'll put them in costume just because it's October.
So let's rate this beer. John, how do you feel about Harvest Moon here?
Hang on, I gotta take another drink.
All right. Did it change?
Well, I had mine as a 3, but as I kept drinking it, I had to knock it down. So it is a 2.75. It's sweet. It's Christmassy to me, not fall. Maybe if I was drinking it outside, it might change my mind, but I don't want to drink a lot of it. It's just not bad. It's just not good.
Yeah, it's decent.
So 2.75 for me.
Yeah, I give it a 3. It's
okay.
I was expecting way more like pumpkin flavor, and I think that harvest is them saying like harvest spices and shit, like ingredients from a field or whatever the fuck. But it's definitely taken away from the pumpkin. I don't taste pumpkin really.
Not really.
I'm gonna go. We'll say 3.25, but again, I think it's situational. When you're drinking it, where you're drinking it. It's definitely not a beer that I could sit and drink several of. One's enough. But yeah, I could go with the Christmassy thing. It's more spicy, clovey than it is pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with Bruce, 2.75. That's where I started. That's where it's ending. Not quite a 3. It's a little bit. I get a little bit. I don't know. Rubs me wrong. I don't know. It's more Christmassy, situational. Maybe a shot beer. But it's not bad. It's just not my taste.
And it's funny because they actually do have like a, like a nutmeg or something like that for Christmas beer. Blue Moon does. And honestly, this kind of tastes like it.
Maybe they just relabel it.
Relabel.
They just put more nutmeg in the next batch and they're done. So speaking of shots, let's go take a shot break and we'll come back with a ghost story.
Bathroom breaks too. I really got to pee.
From Honer, and we'll have some more for you.
Yes.
Welcome back.
We're still doing Halloween beers. We're still having great conversations. We are on our 4th and final beer, unless we get froggy, but I think it's going to be the 4th and final. I'm gonna let the bandit pronounce this one.
Oachkatzlschwoaf. An urban chestnut brewing company, Marzen, at Oktoberfest, 5.4% ABVs with 22 IBUs. There's been 13,000 check-ins for an average rating of 3.74. This export-style lager brewed of our annual Oktoberfest celebration is malty yet well-balanced, like the beer traditionally served at Oktoberfest in Munich. However, our Fest beer has a tail of its own, pronounced Oachkatzlschwoaf, translated as the tail of a squirrel. Just a little Bavarian humor for you. So, what's everyone think?
I'm just trying to think of how to actually say the name.
Blake M.
Oachkatzlschwoaf.
Blake M. from
Schwoaf.
Blake M. says it tastes like cereal.
So malty. I can see that. Grains.
All right. First sip. Should I ASMR this? All right, I will.
That is so disgusting, man.
Hey, you know what? I don't even know what the fuck I taste, honestly. What did I just drink?
It's light.
It's very light. Like, it just tastes like water, but
No, I mean, it doesn't taste like water. It's got
that's the
flavor.
first drink. That's the first drink.
Compared to what we've drank already today.
Compared to what we've had already, this is the best one.
Yeah.
It's light.
That's not saying much, though.
It's light. It's got flavor, and it's very drinkable. Like, I can sit down with a 6-pack in the fall and just start drinking this.
It is lighter. It's not over the top sweet.
I will say it's light, but it's just right below medium bold for me. That it's like, it's not too thin though. It's pretty good. But I don't know, man. I'm just not impressed with any of these right now. So it's like they're kind of numbing my taste buds to eat.
That's
whatever.
Brought me back to my last my earlier subject or topic was maybe we should have John on an actual episode and not this one because I'm not impressed with a lot of these beers.
Did you clean your palate?
I'm getting something on the back end, like the other one that I don't like.
Flat. That was what I'm tasting.
I forgot to grab a water.
All right, so
Oktoberfest.
everybody
Schwoaf.
that's listening, this is spelled Oachkatzlschwoaf.
Yeah, it's obviously a Oachkatzlschwoaf.
Like,
Wow, that's actually not bad.
you said cock.
Americans.
Just gonna point that out.
Fucking Americans.
Oachkatzlschwoaf.
Well, they shortened it just to Oakats, and that's
I'm gonna go with
Oachkatzlschwoaf.
Oh, cats, for sure.
Oachkatzlschwoaf.
now
Okay, cleanse my palate.
it is that time. Let's talk about your favorite scary horror Halloween movies. Maybe some apps that you might go to, or just movies in general, TV shows, anything.
I will say, my favorite horror series, I guess, like TV shows, I would say it's obviously got to be American Horror Story. It's always like an anthology series, so it's interesting, but I will say they always drop the ball midway through the fucking seasons. But I mean, that's like the only horror series that I've really heard.
Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Oh, that's actually fucking good. Yes, never mind. I take it back. That's a good one. That is a really good one. I love that one.
I like the Nightmare on Elm Street ones, Halloween movies, obviously. Just a basic make you feel good movies, I guess. Make you feel good Halloween. Like you watch them and you know it's Halloween.
Oh, I was like, makes you feel good. This motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I feel good. He's
good.
killing
Halloween,
people.
right? He's killing the shit out of people.
Evil Dead is my shit. I recently watched that.
Evil Dead, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2.
Yep.
Evil Dead 2.
Yep.
So, fun fact, I told Bruce about this. So, did you know that Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, obviously, it's a sequel to 2, right?
Right.
And you've seen it.
Yeah.
So, you know the part where they actually go back in the camp, and that's like, why the fuck is he going back to that house? Because the movie ends in the first one, he gets taken over by the evil spirit. And he gets thrown. But then the second movie, it starts, and he's going back to the cabin. So everybody's all like, what the fuck is this? Is this like a reboot or what? And then so years later, Bruce Campbell says it's a requel. They didn't have the rights to the first movie, so they had to kind of like get back to that spot where it ended, but on their own movie. So the second movie, he goes back to the cabin, the girl dies, everything happens, whatever. He gets hit with the evil spirit. He says, watch the first movie where he gets hit by the evil spirit, start it after all that editing, whatever, watch it once he gets flung into the air in the second movie, and that's where they're supposed to line up. Okay. So he said that's where you're supposed to continue. But we didn't have the rights to the first movie to do that, to just start there. So he's like, we had to kind of build up, make it a whole nother movie.
Okay.
But it is actually a continuation. And then the third movie is the whole sword and adventure shit.
I'm going to have to go home and watch this tonight.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I love this.
It's been a while.
Did you see the Star series, Ash vs.
It's
Evil
on
Dead?
Netflix. the series on Netflix.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
It's
so
funny.
it's in canon. So it's just 30 years later, Ash is just working in a fucking grocery store in the middle of Michigan,
And he's still got the chainsaw arm.
and he
Nice.
works. He lives in a fucking trailer, and he hasn't made his life any better. And then all of a sudden, this shit starts happening. I'm just like, God, fuck.
Ashy Slashy, right? Is that what they call him?
Gonna have to look that up. I need a new series to binge watch.
There's three seasons.
Three
and
seasons,
It's done.
yeah.
Okay.
It's done already.
And they're remaking. They have announced that they're making another Evil Dead, and they're starting it all over. And there's going to be none of the connections to him, or the one they did with the where the girl ends it. She's, they're not doing it.
They're not doing that whole reboot thing that they
Yeah,
did. They
it's
try to remake
just
it.
it's the story differently. Like so,
Okay.
like there might be some overlapping things that are close to the same.
I
but
am so okay with that. I did not like the remake or retelling of the new one.
with the girl.
It's so okay. So this is what I was like. The topic I was going to be like, what are some movies that you guys like don't fuck with? Like for me, I don't fuck with like Possession, like shit, like movies like that. That shit kind of just throws me off.
I don't think I have.
can't really
I don't
watch
think I don't.
So I can't really
scary
like,
movies you can't watch.
yeah, like I can't really fuck with those. Like I don't like the Possession shit because that shit's too real. And one time I was watching The Exorcist, not the movie, the TV show, and I was alone. Put the headphones on. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna watch this. Lights are off. I'm gonna watch. All of a sudden, some shit happens in the show. Something falls off my fucking nightstand. I shut that shit off. I said, no.
I'm done.
I was like, nah, no, mm-mm. So I don't fuck with like possession shit, especially if I'm alone. I don't fuck with that. But I can watch horror movies with serial killers. I can watch like literally anything else, but I cannot fuck with the possession.
The only one that got me like that was Paranormal Activity. Before they announced it was fake, because I watched it in theaters, and that is the only movie like I actually spoke like out and like so everyone can hear me. Like when she was standing over his bed, I'm like looking at my girlfriend at the time. I was like, "What the fuck? She's fucking there for hours." Like
Now
that got me. Like
now you're like Paranormal Activity, but like John and I, we were there, like of age when the first Blair Witch came out, and no one knew.
It
Like
was
they
fake.
would,
That was a
they
good one,
thought
too.
it was a documentary. That's
Yes,
the way they
yes.
promoted it, and
That was a
that's
good
why
one,
it
too.
went
Spot
crazy.
on. Yep.
But you don't have that first feel like we do because
That's
you
how I
didn't
felt.
get the experience.
But that's how I
because
felt
you-
about this one though. Like I thought it was real, and then I think I knew it was fake, but in watching
never
it,
know.
it felt real.
That's how I felt
Yeah.
with Fourth Kind.
Fourth Kind is another
Fourth
good
Kind,
one.
but they tried to portray it that it was real events. They showed you
because
some
they
real
did
shit.
actors, and
Yeah.
then they showed,
And then they
they
said-
showed the real people, and then the actors that portrayed them.
The alien invasion. Did you see that one?
I don't think so.
Fourth Kind.
that
it was
one's
about
a good
aliens.
one. It's got the girl. that
Mia Kovacevic,
Yeah.
whatever.
played- yeah, Mia.
The girl from Resident
Yeah.
Evil.
Mila
Fifth
Jovovich. Mila Jovovich.
Fifth Element.
No.
Yes, she's in
Mia
the Fifth Element.
Oachkatzlschwoaf.
but it's Fourth Kind.
Okay.
But she was also in one of the Paranormal Activities. She was in as
don't
well.
think
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was in one of them.
She did Fourth Kind. That was it.
Yeah. I don't think she was in any
I'm-
other movie.
That was,
I don't think
that was an alien type of movie
Yeah.
in Alaska. That one's really good
That
too.
one fucked me
The
up.
last scene. That last scene was crazy.
Because
Watch that one.
there's like a time where like she's actually getting abducted, and it's like, okay, this is fucked up because they don't tell you if it's real or not. So because like they kind of eventually blend in the real tapes with the whatever. So
Okay,
it's like,
gotcha.
oh shit, you don't know what the hell's real. But then they came out. Obviously, I think it's fake.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
it
so it's
is.
like it's like her and like real name actors, like it's doing like actual motion picture. But then they show clips of the real people, like and they do like a side by side, so you can see the difference. But I think everything was being acted. I think everything was fake, but it still has me up in the air. But
Like her?
It takes place
Like her when she was getting abducted.
It takes place in Alaska, where they say a lot of the UFO sightings are because it's so remote, and it's Nome, Alaska.
Why?
You can only get there by airplane.
So
See, aliens, they're supposed to be so smart, but yet they go to Alaska, or they
So you
go
can't see
to
them. Because
farms.
there's not a lot of people there.
in the middle of nowhere.
John, do you remember 30 Days of Night with Josh Hartnett?
That was a good one.
That was a good one. The vampires, right?
Vampires in Alaska, and that's right there because that's one of the places in the earth for those people.
And it goes
But there's
Like
2/3
30.
of the year, it's all night, longer for them.
So they are smart because
Now, see, Alaska would make sense for vampires.
Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
you've
for
got
vampires,
dark.
not aliens.
Not aliens.
Well, aliens, I guess, if they want to not be seen,
you go
then
to
it is
Alaska
smart.
because it's populated, but there's not a lot of technology, not a lot of shit out there because it's like one town for every 8,000 miles or whatever it is. Like it's all
National
icy
Geographic.
tundra and shit.
Right.
So-
I mean, if you're an alien and you want to come to the Earth to figure out what us humans are about, I mean, you go to like New York, Chicago, Portland.
You see what everything's about.
Right,
like,
right.
literally
You
our
don't go to this farm in the middle of nowhere and paint pictures in their cornfield.
But I think what they want to do is like they want to take over those people. They want to at least like probe them
Start
and
somewhere.
probe. But yeah, they're. I
mean,
think
why-
it's more like a secretive thing.
Why wouldn't you want to go to a town where you can only get there by plane? That's it. No, you can only get there by airplane.
Or UFO.
You can't drive there.
Or UFO.
Or UFO. Or probably sled
Or boat.
dogs. Or sled dogs.
Sled dogs. Now, have you guys noticed?
Balto.
Have you noticed the trend? 80s and 90s, the U.S. usually had the best horror films, and now I feel like we put out some of them, but on the whole, your Japan, your Korea, and your Chinese movies horror are far better because the Americans seem to be like, we make more money if we make it PG-13, so they put the gloves on, whereas overseas they take the gloves off.
And I think what also happens, like you said, it's more uncensored. But I think our golden days were back then. That's why when we're making horror movies now, they're just rebooting them.
Yeah.
Because
It's
were
not
good.
original.
Because
There's
it's
no
like, oh, those
originality.
were the best we got. You know, no, I haven't seen a new serial killer movie in how long?
It's always Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger.
And I feel like we need a new serial killer. We literally need one. A new icon.
Call him the Bandit.
We have one. It's called coronavirus. That's your new serial
Oh, that's
killer.
true. We do have. Hey, so Olivia responded because I asked her about this name. So the Bluetooth on. I'm about to play her video. This is what she says.
I honestly don't know, like, but I really couldn't, like, see the rest. Nice.
Well, thank you, Olivia, for shedding no light on that subject.
Right?
Yeah, well, thank you. You didn't help us
No
at
wonder,
all.
no wonder why you're not on the show anymore.
Oh.
I'm kidding, Olivia. We love you.
What do you guys think about this one?
I like it, but I still want to talk about more horror stuff.
That's fine.
I feel like we're missing some stuff.
It's not a horror movie, but it's a comedy, but it's set like a parody of a horror movie. Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
I was about to. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you were
That's
saying
pretty
that.
good.
Have you
That's
ever
pretty
seen
good.
that?
I love
I
it
don't think
because
so.
it's
Oh
the
my
opposite,
gosh.
bro. So it's the opposite. So you see the movie through the eyes of the killers, but they're literally just being mistaken throughout the whole time as the killers. But they're hillbilly.
They're just
So
hillbilly and
so
just horrible
look-
at what they're doing.
So they're not even doing anything. They're just living their life.
They're
And
making sure, like,
there's people in a cabin that are in a cabin,
Right.
And they're getting murdered, and they think it's them, but these guys are just there. You
Yeah.
know, they just live in the area.
they're just nice hillbilly folk in the middle of nowhere.
But they keep getting like confused. Like they might be doing something they think is doing good, but from the point of view of the other people, it's
It's
like
not
they're
good.
being scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
or
just
like,
scary.
I don't want to say
What's
too
it- what's
much.
it called?
Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
It's on Netflix.
Now,
It's
anyone
funny.
seen the movie? It's a little bit older now. It's early 2000s, called Trick or Treat. It's
is
an
that
anthology film.
Is that the one with the,
pumpkin head on
pumpkin
the-
head?
Is that the pumpkin
It's
head
not
with the
really.
knife?
He's not.
No, that's
No,
over.
it's like I would call it like a potato sack creature that has like a small head. He's very tiny.
Yeah, it's like a child.
Kind of, yeah. And there's like 5 different stories that all connect just a little bit in the same town.
Oh, I think I watched it, but I guess I didn't realize that. But that was a while ago I saw it.
Yeah, it's an older movie, but it's good because it's a good scare, but it's not like downright just straight horror.
I'll have to try that out.
And I heard that they're remaking it, not as in like they're doing all the stories over with new people, that they're just like, and here's another Trick or Treat,
Okay.
you know, with different people in a different town. Like one of my favorite ones from that is like there's a group of girls throughout. You see them through all the different Untappd stories, and they're going around Red Riding Hood, and they're all sluttied up, and they eventually get. It finishes the anthology. They eventually get all these guys. It's like it's gonna be your first time. And they're like, oh yeah, it's Anna Paquin, Rogue from the X-Men movies.
Yeah,
and they're like, it's gonna be her first time. It's everything, and then what you find out is like the whole movie you think is because they're leading up to like they're gonna get her laid for the first time. It's not. It's her first kill because all the girls are werewolves, and they turn on the guys they take out in the woods and kill them.
okay.
So and one of them's a bad guy killer from a different story, and so they're all it's
connected.
nice connected all the way through.
Okay. Yeah, because I like anthology series because it's interesting because there's a new show on Hulu because Hulu does Huluween, and so Hulu is usually my place to go to when I watch horror movies. Which, if you guys have HBO Max, they actually have classic horror movies and a shit ton
Give me your password.
No.
Yeah,
So
give me your password.
It's my mom, so you got to ask her. So they have a whole library, bro, of horror movies. So I just watched, what is it, Gremlins 2? I've never seen that in my life.
Never? Oh my God.
So I watched that.
Gremlins good.
I watched Gremlins 2,
Don't feed
and it
them
was
after
fucking
midnight.
wild. Yeah, it was wild. And then they have like, I'm pretty sure they got like Jaws. They have all the Nightmares on
Well,
Elm
since you have
Street.
HBO Max, you should look up Lovecraft Country.
Oh, I watched the first episode. I haven't seen the rest though. I
Oh,
need to
it's
watch
so
it.
good.
Yeah, but then the Hulu. So Hulu's having Huluween, and they have Quick Bites. So Quick Bites is a horror anthology where it's 3 minutes worth of shit. So it's 3 minutes, boom, boom, boom. Each one's a different story. I'm gonna say they're not well done. They're not. They're really quick, obviously, but I think some of them just fall flat. But it's whatever. It's just something to watch really quick if you're into that. Monsterland is also a new series they did for Halloween. And so that is an anthology. And so each one is based off a different town. And it's called Monsterland. And so the first one has the daughter from Last Man Standing. You guys ever watch that?
Which one?
No.
She had
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
youngest,
young one?
the youngest daughter. So she's in the first one, and her daughter is the main concept. And it's pretty cool. It's actually pretty interesting. It's way more interesting than that Quick Bites. And that's another anthology series. So that's why I like them.
Is there any particular shows or movies that you like, John, that are horror themed or scary?
I mean,
themed?
if we're talking Halloween, the original Halloween series. I mean, those movies are great.
You all know about The Mask, right?
Yeah, it's
With John
Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey?
no, it's it's what's his face?
It's
Oh, number 2.
it's a
the guy
William
from Star-
Shatner.
yeah, from
It's
Star-
a William Shatner mask from the 70s
Yes,
that
I
you
knew
would
that
pull
about that.
over and it is painted it white.
Yeah.
It's crazy though
Halloween,
because it
the
doesn't
Michael
even look
Myers
like him,
mask is a William Shatner mask.
It
that
doesn't
they
even
just
look like him though.
deformed and. All right, real quick, John has an interesting story for us.
Okay.
But I want to ask, just rapid fire, your favorite Halloween movie, just like that. Honer,
Evil Dead 2.
Bruce.
Ash vs. the Army of Darkness.
Gotta be Halloween.
Mine is Halloween, the newest one, not the newest one, the first one, the remake with
Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie.
Oh.
That was probably my favorite.
Did you like the new remake of the Halloween one?
I don't think I saw it.
It came out last year, 2
So
years
the
ago?
third remake?
The one that was actually canon to
And
the
I just-
first movie.
Okay, so what she was back.
Yeah.
And I like Devil's Rejects now that I'm thinking about it.
So do you like The House of a Thousand Corpses too?
I actually need to check out some Rob Zombie movies because it's been a while since I've actually seen them.
They're very hit or miss.
I just like, I don't know. I remember you guys talking about how he's like really gory and stuff, and I'm kind of
That is a through line. Is
So I'm
gore.
kind of into. I want to see that kind of shit right now.
It's some of it's weird.
So kill me. So kill me right now.
All right, so let's get into John's story, and then we'll do our final ratings.
John is going to read us a story.
He's going to read us a bedtime story.
I'm gonna tell you a story. So this was a real life occurrence. There's gonna be some people out there that say that doesn't happen, that's evil, you're satanic. I don't give a shit. Hold on, now 23 years ago.
Jeez.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, 23 years ago. I had a buddy who lived in a house, and that house used to be a residence where the nuns would live at St. Michael's Catholic School. And he always said that the house was haunted. He would have family come over, guests. They reported he had in the bathroom, he had the double doors that you would pull open towards you. And he had a guest that was coming out of the bathroom one night, and it felt like somebody on the other side was holding the doors. The doors would move. It's not like it was solid, but it's like somebody was fighting you. His dad was always a stickler when it came to the Christmas tree lights. Make sure that shit's unplugged. Don't burn the house down. Several times they get up in the morning, Christmas tree lights are plugged in. Several stories like that. Dog. He had a dog that would chase something. They never saw what he was chasing. And Bill's going to get freaked out. Owner. Sorry. No. So yeah, the dog would run to Brandon's room, and he would stop at the doorway and just stare and bark. And didn't know what he was seeing. So we get the bright idea, hey, let's break out a Ouija board.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
I've never messed with one,
and this
I don't
is where
ever want to.
Don't bring that juju here.
This is where, Philip's possession fear, it comes into play. Because, if you believe in it, you are letting yourself become a tool for whatever's talking to you.
Whole nother tool.
He is a tool. So we decided to break out a Ouija board, and there were probably half a dozen of us there. I think it was around 10, 11 o'clock. We get it on the table, we put some candles around the outside, do that whole bullshit, and then we start talking. And we do get an answer. And we find out that, yes, it was a nun that used to be at the school. And so we started asking her questions about the one that I remember. We asked where she was from, and the board spelled out, I believe it was England was first. And then it went to Germany, and then they came to America. We asked her why. We asked her where she was, and the board spelled out purgatory. And we're like, why are you in purgatory? And the board spelled out murder. And it's like, oh shit. And who did you kill? And the board spelled out mother. So she is in purgatory because she killed her mom. So we asked, is there anybody else with you? And she said yes. And we asked who, and it spelled out brother and father. So we asked if we could talk to any of the others, and we talked to the brother. And we asked where he was. It spelled out purgatory. We asked why he was there. It spelled out murder. We asked who he killed. He said mom. We talked to the father. He killed his wife. That's why he's in purgatory. So after a series of questions, what we deduced was the mom, the sister and brother were twins. Mom died during childbirth. So brother and sister feel like they killed their mom. And the father, Mike, I remember that. The father feels like he killed her because he impregnated her. So they're stuck in purgatory because they haven't forgiven themselves of killing their mom. We had asked, I asked her. I said, can you do something to prove that you're here? And it said no. And I said, why? It said scared. Okay. So we continued on, and a few hours later, this is like 4 a.m, I start hearing a sound. It sounds like the beeping of like a city truck working in reverse. Yeah. Half hour later, my buddy Brandon that lives there, he looks up, he's like, you guys hear that? I'm like, yeah, I've been hearing that for half an hour. He's like, that's my parents' alarm clock. They've been in Florida for a week. So Brandon goes up to turn it off. And as Brandon goes upstairs, we continue asking questions. And the further he gets, the slower that board moves. When he's coming back down the stairs, the board starts speeding up. So I asked, I said, did you do that? And it went to yes. And she said, and I said, why? And she said, you asked. It's like, all right. So it's like, do you like Brandon? Went to yes. So she's attached to Brandon. She was in Brandon's room where when she lived there. And there were several times that we asked her to prove herself. And one, we sent a guy up in the front room of the house where nobody was. We asked her what he was doing, and the board spelled out dumb. And it turned out he was in front dancing like an idiot.
Oh.
I asked her if she could tell me what time it said on the microwave. And all I got was nothing. She didn't know what a microwave was. So I had to point it out. And she, let's say it was 6:29. The board spells out 6:30. I'm like, no, that's wrong. I turn around and look, the time had changed. She spoke German, and we had one person there who spoke German. So I asked him a question. He was off the board, and he repeated it in German. So one of us on the board said what he said, and the answer came back, didn't make sense to me. And I looked at him and I told him, I said, that doesn't make sense. He's like, I changed the question so you could manipulate it. So it made perfect sense to him. We asked her if she could see outside. She said that it was blurry, and we figured that's because the times have changed. But it was like 6:37, 8-ish. St. Michael's bells started going off. We were in the middle of a question, and the board stopped and spelled out bells beautiful. So she could hear the bells. All right. So that pretty much ended the night. It literally went on for I'd say 6 to 8 hours.
Damn.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. And whether you believe or you don't believe, it's not something I would play with. It's not something I would fuck around with.
Mm-hmm. And people who don't know John, I believe him because John is like a skeptical, and he's not one to believe in things unless it happens to him.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to believe in some like aliens unless he actually sees it. So
have you been to the haunted house that is a hacienda in Mishawaka?
I have not been to that one.
Oh yeah, it's by Tones.
The 100 Center one is
supposed to be haunted.
It's supposed to be haunted, and I personally have seen weird shit there.
The actual hacienda.
Yeah, because it's inside of a house, and
yes.
person who owned the house killed themselves in the upstairs. And you see, people who have worked there that I've talked to said that carts move on their own, especially in the upstairs rooms when you go eat on the dining in the upstairs, and plates fall, and for unexplained reasons, it's supposed to be quite haunted.
I'm a believer. I mean, I've got to believe that there's something beyond it, and that the whole Ouija board thing. Like I said, if anybody listening, I gotta put a disclaimer in there. Don't get on the Ouija board and be an idiot, because if you do believe, you are literally allowing something into yourself.
yeah, so don't provoke
To manipulate the board. So do not provoke it.
Yeah, I would never.
Now, staying on...
I would, I think, if I was presented.
I feel like you definitely would.
The
I would not.
opportunity?
I don't want to be in that same room.
I
as you.
would.
No.
And then I would bring it to the show and share my experience with you guys.
When I worked, while we did this, I worked at Hoosier.
Okay.
And the Monday after this happened, I went to work, and the press operator that I was working with, I told him about it. And he literally, I watched the color drain from his face. I mean, the dude looks at me and he was like, do not mess with that. He said that when he was in college, they were playing with the Ouija board, and he was on it, and he started spelling out, I am God, I know all this stuff. And he says the board shot out from under the table. He freaked out, went back to his room, sitting in a corner shaking, and one of the guys came back to his room and said, hey, the board's asking for you. And he looked on his wall, and he saw a silhouette of a burning candle, which was on the table in the other room. There again, wasn't there, but the fear on the guy's face that I was talking to, that fear was real. Scared the shit out of him.
I've done some horror things with Roll Top Taping, and I've done the haunted house that one of you guys here have been a part of, two of you guys. And so I just recently got a new RPG game, and I thought about trying it out on you guys. But it's called Monster of the Week, and it takes the tropes from TV shows. So you're gonna roll up a character, and they're gonna be you have to pick a trope of a character that would be in said TV show, and they want you to cast yourself with an actor or actress that was on a TV show or a movie that was in a horror theme. And then I, as the dungeon master, have to choose any TV show to make all the NPCs and put them down there. So like all the NPCs being like the mayor or whatever would be like how I met my mother, and all the characters would be employed by them, and so you just each week you just replace the NPCs of a new TV show. Yeah. So we do Cheers and things like that, and all it is you investigate, and then you try to defeat the monster, and it's pretty easy. Like you guys played the haunted house, and it was roll 20s, and you got to do skills and stuff like that. So they really streamline it. So it's like you pretty much just tell me what you're doing, and I don't actually roll any dice at all. So it's more free form on that.
Dude, that'd be fun.
I feel like we've talked about it before about actually recording, but when we have it set up like I think we could do it with this one.
Let's do that one. That'd be awesome.
What did you think of this beer? Two-tone.
Yes. Me. 2.75. It wasn't, like I said, none of these were great, obviously. My baseline is a 3. I started at 3. They all went down. Not impressed with October beers. I also told you guys I'm not a big fan of Oktoberfest beer.
I just think
pumpkin style beers.
I just think we needed more pumpkin styles because these
we probably should have recorded this maybe closer to Halloween.
It is.
I disagree. I like this one a lot. It's the best one of the day. It's a 3.5 for me. It's slightly sweet. It's got a little bit of malt. It's light, but not too light. It's easy drinking.
Yeah, I agree. Well, not with the 3.5. I give it a 3.25. I think it is the best one that we've had today, but it's not saying much. But it is. It does taste like a good Oktoberfest. So this kind of reminds me of the Munster Fest I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
It's a little, but Munster Fest a little bit better.
Okay, just a little bit though. You said
just a little bit.
I'm gonna go with 3. I mean, it's right in the middle of the road. It is. I would say that I probably like it better than everything we've had today. There's something on the finish that I just don't like, and I said that with the previous beer. So Oktoberfest, not one of my favorites. Kind of like Reds. Reds aren't one of my favorites.
I love Reds.
Yeah, I can't really do.
I think it's because they're sweet.
I like Reds too.
I guess I just don't like a sweet beer.
I just don't like cider beers. Like they're too much. Like
It's
if I get
not a
a beer, because you gotta buy a 6-pack of them. So
There's
it's like
different. There's different Reds though. Like
Irish Reds, I guess, is what I like.
yeah, because like the Burning Barn from
From what?
Yep.
Granite City
Okay.
was slightly bitter on the finish. It wasn't a sweet one, so perhaps you'd like that. It was definitely an Irish Red, but it wasn't sweet. So
Okay.
I feel like there's differences on those.
Yeah, I'm open to trying new ones, and yeah, if there's an Irish Red out there that's not sweet, I think it might be the sweetness factor.
Oh wait, you talking about Irish Reds? Is that what you were talking about?
Like he loves
We
Killian.
went from Reds to Irish Reds.
Killian's. Killian's.
No, I don't like.
I love Killian's.
I don't. No, I'm good on that. No.
I get it. All right, so
Two Tones, you haven't. Oh wait, no, everyone's in.
I did. Before we end the show, John, do you have anything going on at your store about around Halloween? Maybe an upcoming event that you want to promote? Anything you guys got?
We don't have any events coming up with all the bullshit going on right now. They've kind of limited that. We're gonna have some virtual events. Tony's referring to Angelina's Cigars, cigar shop in Plymouth and Warsaw. We're going to be doing a virtual event with Drew Estate on October 22nd. We're going to be doing one on December 22nd. You're going to be able to log in, talk to people from Drew Estate. Master Blender Willie Herrera is going to be there in October 22nd. You can listen to Willie talk about blending the tobaccos, ask him questions. We got some good deals. Drew Estate's always good on the swag, giveaways. Except I think this is going to air after October 22nd, so it really doesn't matter. But December 22nd is the one that you're going to want to pay attention to.
Oh yeah.
Do you have your shop's Instagram or Facebook or your Instagram or anything you want to, your social medias?
Yeah. Angelina's Cigars on Instagram at Angelina's Cigars Warsaw. We are also on Facebook. Look for Angelina's Warsaw. There is a Plymouth location, Angelina's Cigars Plymouth, but the Warsaw one's cool.
So let's just go do our normal socials now. Honer?
I am Honer Creations on Facebook and Instagram. That's dumbass videos for dumbass people like me. And my personal Twitter account is PETOWNE.
Bruce?
I am Beer Bandit Bruce on Twitter and Bruce the Beer Bandit on Instagram and Untappd. Feel free to give me a follow or a chat. And on top of that, please, teespring.com/drunkwithbuds.com and buy some merch. All the prices have been reduced. We make almost no money off it. We just want you guys to enjoy our stuff. We've had a new line of colorful hops that look kind of like stained glass. We got tights, all over t-shirt and masks.
The website's also www.drunkwithbuds.weebly.com.
That's correct. And there's
Go
a link
there.
to the store there as well. And you can also look at videos and the beers we've had over all the seasons.
Our suggestions, our favorite beers, or you can see the top rated, the worst rated beers, everything. You can follow me on Twitter at the number 2tones87. Go to at Angelina Cigars in Warsaw. Follow them.
This is I got a Halloween beat on deck. We'll see if it's even good.
End the show.
Nilo Beats, Halloween type beat, Haunted.
This is Nilo.
So Olivia, last chance.
Last chance,
Let's hear
Olivia.
it. She sent me another one.
Lots of people wanting to talk a lot of shit over there. I mean, if I have to fly back, I will.
Oh shit! Never. Okay, well, she didn't help us. Man,
We can edit that one
no,
out.
she's about to beat you guys' ass.
My ass, I'm not talking shit.